Today is not a day to celebrate, but the arrest of Richard M. Allen of Delphi on 2 counts of murder is sure a major step in leading to the conclusion of this long-term and complex investigation. Of this long-term and complex investigation. Of this long-term and complex investigation. Of this long-term and complex investigation.
Welcome back. Just a brief little, said I'd be right back there. So sorry about that. But the information that I've received is that allegedly there are pictures that show the jurors hanging out with the police at the outside grill area of their hotel. Not sure if this was before or after the jurors had technically got the case. It would matter more so if it was after they got the case because they're not supposed to be speaking to anybody. So again, allegedly there are pictures that show the jurors hanging out with the police at the outside grill area of their hotel. Again, I'm not sure if this was before or after the jurors had received the case and where the 3 officers were then sworn in because they're not supposed to be talking to anybody. So again, so it is what it is there. We'll come back to that here at the end. Want to give a shout out to Bella. The thumbnail on this stream is the fine artwork of Bella Lugosi, the bedtime stories with Bella Lugosi. So if you guys are wondering who just did that amazing artwork for this thumbnail, give credit where credit's due. Cheers. So again, back to my day. I was one of the 14 people that got to go in as the public for the verdict. I want to share my experience with you guys. And then I'm going to share some of my thoughts as far as a little round out of, the jurors getting to the decision that they made. So here we go.
No worries. We'll work it together. I'm number 11. High five, Lynn. Be out of here from the beginning, girl.
So like right there is right here with the little strap, blue strap. That's Dateline.
It's going to be a race to the bottom.
Yeah.
So it probably is, but
Like this way.
I would just say like that's.
Can I just go like this? This is when we were told, there's a verdict. So standing here waiting. Have the camera just.
Hey,
and then I'm gonna have my face shut off.
You never care. They're not going to care.
Oh yeah. I know. Hey Jennifer. I need her to grab my phone. You get in there and get my.
Okay, so this is the line for the for the public to go in. So they won't be reading off anything until the public is entered, seated. Then they bring everybody else in from that point. So
I don't want to hold on to it.
The thing that was different with that is that the defense and the prosecution, they were all seating when we were brought in. And that's the first time it's ever been like that. We're like, they're in their seats. Like, it's like they're ready to go. Everybody is in their seats. Every time that we've ever entered the courthouse to begin a day, people have been up, standing, talking to each other. People could be coming and going if they had to use a restroom, because we're going in, because we know that court starts, at 9. And so therefore the doors were open at 8. They would let us in between 8:15, 8:20. And then like into the court actually to have our seat. And then we'd be waiting there until like, 9:00 would start. So this was a little bit different in terms of that when we walked in, everybody was seating. Nobody was talking. It was, you could hear a pin drop. And like I said, the prosecution, the investigators, everybody that was part of the prosecution team, they were seating, and the defense minus 2 people, Rosie and Ajay they weren't there. They get in there, but hang tight.
You want?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Organize? Julie did everything.
What?
Yeah, Julie did it. Organize us.
Julie,
So
come
it's
on.
not, otherwise it's gonna be mass chaos going because these people are not here.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's like 30 minutes, and then get him here, get him rest.
Jennifer, did you grab my phone?
Anybody else looking at that poor little man up there? That poor soul.
They go code, they can get in here faster in 3 minutes.
Can I just?
I put us on 1.5.
Can we get some thumbs up?
I don't know. I can't remember what about that. As long as it's good. Yeah, Mitch is inside. Whatever. Which one's Jen?
Oh yeah,
Me.
yeah.
That's mine. Yeah. Yeah. No, the little one. I just need that one. Yeah.
I don't even know what's going on.
Littler?
Same size.
Again, this is all of us knowing that there's a verdict. Let me see.
On hold.
Well, we owe it to you then, Jenny.
I muted it sometimes. I think Julie was playing some music, and I didn't know if it would like strike it on the feed.
Yeah, they're here. There's the stuff here.
But let's get to the.
Single file against the wall.
Okay, so here an officer's telling us that we have to be.
He's in the courtroom right now. No public's in the courtroom. Nobody's in that courtroom right now. Rumor has it is that the jury said that they've reached a verdict, and so then there is a new process that everybody had 2 hours to,
That's what we were informed, that there would be 2 hours to get there. And when we got into the courtroom and we're all sitting, it was like Richard Allen was in there. I noticed that Kathy wasn't. And then all of a sudden Gull comes in. And when that happened, I was like, holy shit, is Kathy not coming? Is Kathy not coming? Gull comes in. We all stand. She's, says her spiel, and we all sit. And then she says, I noticed that defense counsel is missing 2 of their people. And Baldwin says, with his arm like around Richard Allen, like it's been, she says, or he says that they're downstairs waiting to bring up Kathy. Okay. And then she says, well, I told everybody to be ready and be 10 minutes away. Okay. At first we heard 5 in the courtroom. Be 5 minutes, when we get, hey, there's a verdict, when that's announced, you have to be just within 5 minutes of the courthouse. She says that here, you got to be there within 10 minutes. Okay. I told everybody to be within 10 minutes. I mean, what the heck? So, Baldwin has his investigator go down and get Rosie and Jen, the other attorney. And when they come up, with them is Kathy. Kathy's, I don't know if it's Kathy or it was a sister. The mother, the stepdad, Bob Mata, and then the 2 investigators. That's who came up with Rosie and Jen, the other attorney. Again, it's complete silence in there. Like,
Get here and get all.
Kit is saying. He's telling us we need to line up single file.
So can people start backing up like from that way maybe?
so look at these people. Okay, look at, they're not moving, not listening right here. Look at. Okay, now the Dateline woman is now somehow behind the Truth Seeker. Okay, because Truth Seeker has the Steelers gear on. All right, and now do you see how she's behind her?
People start backing up like from that way maybe.
So there's me saying, you guys, look at these two. So Julie's now standing next to me and playing I think it was Melissa Etheridge's song. What song was she playing? Okay, but there's the Dateline woman standing up on the top of the stairs now. Okay. She's basically telling us peons that she's not going to do anything that we're supposed to be doing. We're not going to follow any order here. Right here in front of me with the brown strap bag is the girl from Wish TV. Now, I give her credit. She didn't want to be part of it. She was not going to cut. She had planned on it being standing right here, okay? But then she bailed. And kudos to her, okay? But right here, she's standing here, and then she decides, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to join Kendall here, okay? So the Dateline woman is standing up there with her glasses on behind Truth Seeker. Right in front of me with the brown strap is the girl that decides, I'm not going to do it. I am not going to cut the public who've been waiting in line, okay? But Caitlin Kendall, she said, fuck no, I'm cutting. I don't give a fuck. Those are her words. She'll tell you. Well, if she's honest. If she's honest. So, okay, well, I won't watch you because you don't give a fuck. So, again, and then here's the comment chick. Okay. Knowing that she's not, like, what are you doing? Like, she's just looking and staring at these people because she's like, as long as I'm with them and they're going to do this, I'm going to do it too. Okay? And I'm over here like, she has a spot though. She's number 4 because somebody that was in our group gave Bob Siegel her fucking spot. And then somehow Bob Siegel gives his spot to the Carol Comet Amy woman here. And I'm over here like, why aren't we giving the seats to the public? They are media and are in there. But fucking A, whatever. But look at, there she is. She ain't gonna move. Okay, I mute it. There she is. And then there's your Dateline, Deborah fucking Jones. Okay. Over here. All right. And I'm just like looking at this shit like, y'all have lost your fucking minds, man. Like, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? And then poor Julie here, she wants to tell them like, hey, we've had a system and everybody's been like following the system. Okay. And they want to now come from their little media world to the left and want to come now and just bum rush and literally cut all these people. Like, what the what the fuck are you doing?
Can you see?
I just want to put this right.
Do you want me to hold it for you?
No. Well, I guess we can say this not gonna be a hung jury, right?
No, it could still be a hung jury.
And I'm like, no, you dipshit, it can't. No, they came to a verdict, okay? There's a verdict. It can't be hung, okay? And I'm over here just like, wow, man. Wow. You know who said that that there still could be a hung jury at that point? And I was like, God, I will never read anything that you have to write again. You guys just heard that, right? You guys heard that, right? Nope, it could still be. I was like, well, at least it's not going to be a hung jury. You know, like that's what we just found out basically by the jury saying we've reached a verdict. And this broad's over here saying that doesn't mean that it can't be a hung jury. I'm like, holy shit. Do you have comprehension problems? What the fuck don't you understand about we've reached a verdict? That is not, like, how are you not comprehending that sentence?
I guess we can say this not gonna be a hung jury, right?
No, it could still be a hung jury.
Explain that to your viewers, please. I don't have words. That's just stupidity. That's just stupidity. Okay? Like, wait, excuse me? Oh, hell no. Hell no, hell no. Come on, man. Like, come on. Okay? It wasn't Lawyer Lee saying that, guys, for the record. Ready one more time.
Well, I guess we can say this not gonna be a hung jury, right?
No, it could still be a hung jury.
They've reached a verdict. I mean, they would probably say
Amy, the Carol Comet said that. The Carol Comet said that. And I just said, what in the world is going, like, I can't even. I don't have anything. Well, guys, I guess we can say there's just, I mean, it's everybody out there, it's good. Well, I guess we didn't get a hung jury, you know. And then I hear to my right say, no, that doesn't mean that. And I'm like, wow, please write that to in your next write-up. Please say that. In case she doesn't say it, I'm putting it out there for you. So be careful where you're getting your news from. Be careful where you're getting your information from, because it's people like that think that didn't come to a conclusion when you say, the jury has reached a verdict. Nope, it can still be hung. Oh my God. What? Dude, that's what she said. And I am like, I'm going to have, I knew I was going to have a field day with it when I did my reenactment of my own video. I was like, oh God, I'm going to have a field day with that one. Like, that's what was going through my mind when she said that. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have a field day with that. That's what was going through my mind. And that's like, after she said that, I said, holy shit. So Julie's singing and praying. I was like, okay, I was nervous again. I was like, okay, I can't get hit. Like, so I had to pause it or mute it because I didn't want to ask Julie to stop praying or singing. So I was like, I'll just pause or I'll just mute myself, you know. And then here is where they come over.
So guess what? We do have a verdict.
Amy's 4 and then she's 5.
We do have a verdict. We're all lining.
Okay, so see, so right here, I'm like, I want to be right in the middle. And then the guy comes over and he says, we have to clear this pathway to allow wheelchairs to get through. And I'm like, this is a step. wheelchairs aren't coming this way. There is a ramp over there, but I heard wheelchairs and I'm just like, wow, now we think that we can just like pop wheelies with wheelchairs over here, but that's fine, whatever.
Media coalition.
Media
There's officially a verdict.
the media coalition then says, okay, there's officially a verdict. That was 21 minutes and 38 seconds. And actually, like when I pressed play on it to go live here, I had known that there was a verdict, I would say probably 4 minutes. 4 minutes. So 26 minutes later, this is when she says media coalition isn't, go ahead, you can put it out on your tweets and shit.
Media coalition. There is officially a verdict.
Back down, guys. You guys gotta back up so we can get up.
Yeah, so we can line up. I'm behind. Wait, what
Papa
are we
wheelie.
for?
Papa,
Okay, yeah.
Papa wheelie. There, Amy tells me that she's 4, so now she's in line. Okay.
Sing it, baby girl.
I'm telling baby girl Julie over here to keep singing it. I think I just called Amy baby, or babe or something. I said, what number are you, babe?
We can line up. I'm behind. Wait, what number are you, baby? 4. Okay, yeah.
See? Yeah. Amy baby. What number are you, baby? 4. She just answers like, yes, 4. Like, okay, girl, I'm right behind you. Okay. Again, I go.
All right. Hey, can you pause that for a second? Because it's gonna strike me. I've been muting it when you've been playing. No, you're cool. Hey, so guess what? We do have a verdict.
Amy's 4, and then she's 5.
We do have a verdict. We're all lining up here, okay, to get in.
Here, Lindsay,
So just so everybody knows.
The lady with the gray hair is 9. Put her down.
She's 19.
All right, so there is a verdict. It's not hung. There is a verdict. We've maintained a lot of order.
Yeah, we've
Everybody has
maintained
been
order.
Very orderly.
They did. They won 100%.
Look at, we've been throwing people's trash away.
I mean, that's so orderly of us.
So orderly of us. So
Nervous.
everybody's nervous.
Listen, you guys, we had no choice but to listen. We couldn't say anything to them. We weren't allowed. If we were to say anything to them, we were getting booted. We couldn't say a word to them.
We said as much as we
Okay? No joke. We would have gotten thrown. That's what was happening here. So we couldn't say anything unless we wanted to be out of the line. Okay? And I wasn't I have way too much self-control. I'm disciplined. And there's no way that I was going to let, frick, frack, and whoever fuck with my shit. Like, I got way too much. I'm good. But guess what? I'm going to document it all. I'm going to document it all because guess what? I did not get in. The person next to me did not get in. The 4 people back behind me. The people that didn't get in, okay, that would be spots because they let 14 people in. So these 3 media whores took 3 out of the 14 that they only provided for the public, which they already had, 17 media in there. And they all had a representative of their little, I don't even know how many people roll with the Carol comment. Maybe she wasn't in there as a representative, But again, she was given a seat from us, basically. Okay. So 14 public people did not get in there. 11 did. Let's get that straight. Because my number was 5. When I was counted out upstairs to be like, boom, boom, I was number 8. Okay. So again, there was 11 public people that were permitted in there. I can't even say 14. Okay.
No,
11.
11 because 10 comments one of them. So that's 10 now.
No, I'm counting her.
All I know is that I just, again, thanks to all the line sitters, thanks to all the reporters, thanks for trying to get the transparency out there.
Yes. Hail the truth seekers.
Yes.
You hear? You're there.
I got to hear, and then I'm
I will keep this stream going all the way up until I have to shut my phone off. Once I get to the door, we have to shut our phones off. We have to put them in a box. We have a Faraday bag. So
We had Faraday bags. That is not a lie. Julie bought Faraday bags. That's true that's true story. Okay. Because when you went up there, either you had to keep your phone in your car or you could put your phone in a box that's up there with everybody else's. And yeah, people could put their phone in like this Faraday bag that looks like a little snap purse. Okay.
So we're going to put our phones in Faraday bags.
It's about our country. It's about
Absolutely.
our freedom. It's about what people are allowed. Look at the way that the people are voting. We have a really good jury, and if the jury is going to, if the jury rules anything other than not guilty, I think we all need to fear where our country has gone. I really do.
Because you've been in there and saw the
Yeah, I've
evidence.
been in there. We don't, it's not a debate.
Everybody in line. I mean, I wanted to like 18 and 20.
You're right here behind job.
I just hope and pray.
Thank you.
I hope and pray. I hope and pray.
Yeah, so it's everybody has to. We have to get Richard Allen over.
Always.
Yes, but just so.
Okay, now here we go. Check this
Your
out.
attention, please. If you have a green media pass, it needs to be clearly displayed. You're going to form a single file line to the front door. That will be media with green passes only. If you do not have a green pass, remain on the public sidewalk, please.
Come this way, walk and walk only.
Okay, right there. Wait, right there. Okay, hold on. Now this is going to be interesting here. Okay. I'm curious because, so watch this. Here we go. Green passes only.
Public sidewalk, please.
Come this way, walk and walk only.
Bob Siegel, who we have pictures that Bob Siegel had the 4th spot because it was given by Nancy to Bob Siegel. Okay, there's Bob Siegel.
Single file.
Now, there's the girl that was standing upright with, now watch.
Green passes.
You see, with the brown strap bag? Count how many people. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Display.
5 with the book bag.
All the way
Okay, 6 with the white bag.
through, all the way through.
7 with the tan jacket. All right, that's Sarah Carbaugh's dad. 7. 8 is this blonde chick. Okay. 9. Okay. With the bag lady with the white sweater. 10 is the tan lady there, dark hair. 11. Okay, 11. That's how I counted. Did you guys get anybody else that I didn't get?
Any other body with a green pass? All right. You got
Okay, now I had it as media had 12 spots. Did I miss one of the people that were walking up? Okay, so that's your green pass people. All right. Now, did you see anywhere in there the Dateline woman that was standing up front here? Was it 12? I may have missed one. Okay, but I believe that they had 12 spots. Okay, so now here this is. Ready? Okay, did you see how Kendall wasn't one of them? Dateline wasn't one of them. Okay. And CBS dude wasn't one of them.
any other body with a green pass? All right. You got to wait for them to get situated, and then we'll go to the general public.
Thank you.
They said they were on the list.
Okay, give us just a minute. So,
Thank you.
How is the list? Okay.
Just like that.
Just like
we are.
yeah, but everybody's all in line here that's been doing it.
It's up to you.
Where's it?
Right.
Where's it?
Right here.
Okay, so the 3 people.
They're the media. They have people already in there.
Did you hear me? They're the media. They have people already in there. because those three are literally lined up in the middle of this. What you were all asked to do is to line up single file, like beginning here at the end of the banner. Okay, they're in the middle. And I just say, those are 3 media people. They already have people in there.
This is out here all night, every day. For the verdict. We've taken videos and everything to make sure we can see the verdict line.
There were 2 lines. Or I'm sorry, there was only 1 line. There was 1 line. If you did not have a green badge, if you did not have a green badge, you needed to get your happy ass in the public line. Those 3 people knew that they didn't have green passes, y'all.
Debbie was number 15.
Okay. Debbie was in line. She was number 15
She was
from Dateline. We have a picture of her chair. We know where her line sitting is. Okay. She admitted. These people are admitting to the fact that they cut and they don't give a fuck. Okay. And this is what's wrong with our country. Debbie was sitting in her spot 15 spot, sitting there, knew that she was spot 15.
Admitted to us, she was 15.
Didn't give a fuck.
I told her to get into 15 then. Move it back.
Didn't care. And you can say, Lana, why do you care so bad? Like, why do you care? Because there's 3 people that didn't get in. There's 3 people that were out there waiting, doing it the right way, that didn't get in because these 3 fucking people think that they're better. These weren't 3 public people that don't represent a media channel that cut. These were 3 people that get paid salary positions for their organization. So the representation of those Dateline, CBS, and WRTV, you guys were represented by these 3 people, knew that they didn't have a pass. They knew. It wasn't like, oh my God, I just realized that I didn't get a green pass. No, they've known. They've known that they didn't have a pass and weren't getting in as media. And then they've known since Thursday when everybody was camped out in those spots. Okay. I forewent going into the closings to have the spot that I had. I had to make a decision. So here it is that they knew. They've known since Thursday that they didn't have a green badge. Let that sink in.
No, they were fine.
They knew. They knew that they couldn't get in through the media. So they knew all along they were going to be doing it just like they did. They didn't give a fuck. And so maybe you should stop. Maybe we should, though, give a fuck on who we get our information from.
What?
I give a fuck where I get my information from. I don't want my information from cheaters. People that are getting it wrong all the time. You guys were in the front fucking row when you guys couldn't get it right. Okay, please.
All right, guys. I'm gonna have to.
It was the Hunger Games. Someone in line said it was the Hunger Games, and they pushed past any.
See who's not keeping order.
Who's not keeping order?
No, I mean, it's a good development.
Oh, see, right there. See how she was let up like that?
It's the fact that they were able to reach something.
Where were their passes? Okay, they weren't part of the public line. So that would be 12-13.
Of course.
It's so strange.
It's agonizing.
They have
hardest
their past
30
people in.
minutes, hour, whatever it is of your life.
Can I ask Bob a question after Bob's done?
Sure.
So then Bob just came up and was interviewing people. And then I shut my camera off here because I didn't want to not get in. So I was like, okay.
All right, guys, we're moving people in, so I will let you guys go because I'm going to be going in. Thank you.
Okay. So now, go. You guys can check the community page because then after I ended my stream, it was that, okay, I'm going to take pictures of the people that thought that they could just do this, you know? And so I will show you guys who we're dealing with. And remember, it was mainstream media that were chasing down jurors and that they got kicked out. I thought CBS lost their fucking pass because of that. CBS should have been allowed in there.
Shaking so hard.
Yeah, the guy that was shaking that cut us, all right?
He was right in front of me, and I was held up by him because of all the shit he had in his jacket that wouldn't get through the metal detector.
So let me go to my channel here and show you guys my community page, which is then before I powered down my, there we go. Before I powered down my phone, I took pictures to make sure that it was well documented. And here they are, okay? All right. This guy wouldn't look anywhere to save his life. This dude right here, Shakes. I call him Shakes. CBS Ian something. There she is, Kendall. Okay. And I got another picture here. Where are these peeps? Because right behind Ian here is homie. Is Dateline. Okay. And so let me see if I can get that. Yep, there we go. There she is. There's your Dateline chick. Okay, do you guys see where they're lined up? Okay, this is Jenny in the front. Like, that's the beginning of the line. Right on the banister. These entitled people here, okay, they are in the middle. Look at the ground here. Okay. Banister all the way over here. Banister on that side. Where is she sitting or standing rather? Right in the middle. Where's Dateline sitting? Right in the middle. Right where we were asked to fucking move from. We were asked to move from the middle. Okay. So I said, here, sign here, here, and here. There they are. And again, Dateline, CBS, and WRTV. And she said, I don't give a fuck. Yes, I'm cutting, and no one's going to stop me. Okay.
She's like, this is my big break to get to Iowa.
Again, here they are. Won't even look this way. So, 3 members of the public couldn't get into the courtroom for the verdict because 3 media personalities decided that they were more entitled, even though they were not green tagged as media and above the rules that the public implemented. Here they are. Dateline D-string, the local girl, and some new blonde guy that had the shakes. Again, we found out who they were and we identified them. Mainstream media bullies and still can't get shit right. Media coalition, my ass. Ian Lee is the dude.
CBS.
From CBS. Caitlin Kendall from WRTV and Deborah Jones from Dateline. Okay. You guys are nothing but entitled, spastic brats. Take that and shove it up your fucking asses. All right. Keep getting shit wrong. Keep kissing ass. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah. Awesome. So, next up, Lana, how was your experience inside the courtroom? Well, it was very, very, very quiet in there. Okay. It was obviously where I left off is that Kathy Allen came in last with the family. Okay. And they sat, so hold on one second. Let's see here. Let me go back to this. This one. Hold on, I want something up on my screen while I'm doing this. There we go. Okay. There you go. There we go. Okay. So it was very quiet. There were some open chairs. But I think it was just like the reserving of like the families. Out of respect for how I handle myself, as I wasn't staring at, okay, I'm going to look at this person. I'm going to look at this person. I'm going to look at this person. I'm looking straight. Judge Gall's in there, remember, and she's rocking in her chair, just like waiting for the Allen family because she, told them off in a way, the defense, like, what the heck is going on here? Why aren't we all ready to go? And so then they're in there and then they're like, okay, are we ready to begin? Are you ready for the verdict? She asked Nick, yes. And then the defense says that they're ready. Okay. Now they're going to bring in then the jurors. Okay. And for me, this is just my personal experience. And so I'd been in there numerous times when the jury has come back from starting the day in the morning at 9, starting from a sidebar, starting from like a lunch break, starting from one of the afternoon or morning breaks. Okay. And so when the jury has come in, the jury has never just like kept their head down like this and walked in. The jury had never not looked around before. The jury, would look around, look in certain spots, look and stuff like that. You could tell, like, especially there were certain jurors that did it more than others. But the first thing that I noticed, so the first 3 people to walk in are they were the alternates. And so they were the first 3 to walk in, and they were sitting in front of the well of 12. They were sitting in the first 3. There was not the makeshift chairs, more or less, okay, with like a table or whatever. And so those are the first 2 that walked in, which were the alternates. Then they fill the well by going the top row first. So you're going to come in and you're going to see 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, and 7. And then the next row that gets filled in is the first row, which is then your 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So they knew to get in this specific line every single day. They lined up a certain way because of their order of where they sit. Okay. So nothing new there. That's how they walked in every day. When I was sitting there or standing, because when the jury comes in, you're standing. All I cared about was looking at that jury. I just wanted to look at the jury, and so I was looking at the jury, and none of them looked forward, looked at anybody. Those jurors were walking in like this. And I said, holy shit, they're not looking at anybody. Holy shit, their heads are down. Holy shit. Then I see number 6, which would have been after the first top row in the well, so 12 through 7. Then here's juror 6 coming. And juror 6 is, like I've been telling you guys, he's been Richard Allen's, as far as I'm concerned, his pulse, his heart, like based on his, this juror in jury selection had talked about how he was wrongfully accused before. Okay. But he was, I would be saying I didn't do it. I would, I'd want to see that. I'd want to see somebody be saying they didn't do it because I was saying I didn't do it, So when he came in, you guys, this man has glasses. This man he's like the guy that always has like button up, like dad shirts, like the button up ones that are going to be tight, checkered, like your old polo type button ups, with the collar shirt, right? And he always has his glasses on. Okay. And he has bald head, except he's got the hair like around, but he's not like gray. Okay. It's, so when he comes in, his glasses are nowhere to be found. They're not on his head. They're not in his, his pocket. They're not in his shirt. I noticed right away. I'm like, where's his glasses? This is what was going through my mind. I'm like, oh my God, where's his glasses? He's never not had his glasses on, ever not had his glasses on. Juror 6. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Like that just immediately stuck out to me. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I think this is not guilty. I mean, I think this is guilty. Like I was like, who is this? Who is this man? Who is this man that I just freaking looked at and watched in jury selection, and watched so passionately? And I have a lot of witnesses that will be saying that this is the guy that was, watching the videos, always being just like, he wears his heart on his sleeve. He wears his emotions on his sleeve. Okay. So I saw him without his glasses on. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? This man looked like, and when you don't have like, when his glasses weren't on, his face looked like elongated a little bit more too, to me. And I was just like, and again, his head, none of these jurors, none of them could look at anybody. Okay. So this is my experience, what I'm looking at. All right. Because they walk in and then you turn and then, you stand there until, you may be seated or whatever. And I'm just like, oh my God. When I saw that with juror 6, I was just like, when you cry a lot, if you wear glasses, what happens when you cry a lot if you're wearing glasses? You got to take your glasses off. You're crying, right? When you cry with glasses on. Think about that. What happens? Anyways, so then I get the next big wow. Gall did this all so quickly. Okay. I've been informed, the bailiff has informed me that you guys have reached a verdict. Okay. But she says, but I've also been informed that juror 11 is the foreman. And I was like, oh my fucking God, wait, what? That was another wow. How the fuck is 11 the foreman out of all of these people? How is 11 the foreman? I'd have to defer to Andrea with the notes that she maybe would have on juror 11. But he is the juror that literally had this like shit-eating grin on his face, and we had like, it was just like, I think that's just like how his face rests, like somebody that has like resting bitch face, like, okay. This is the guy that I saw taking notes one or two times. This is a guy that was just sitting there and again, maybe that's just his manner. However your face, I don't know. And I was just like, Never saw him, like me personally, the days that I was there, I didn't see him rip off to ask any questions. Again, this is me. Okay. Because, you know, when you're writing your questions for the jury. Okay. Now, maybe they picked this guy because it was like, okay, he's like, listen, guys, I can go either way. So if you guys want a foreman that's going to be just like I can go either way. Or if you want someone that's just, I mean, I don't know what type of personality they could have picked a name. You're absolutely right. And maybe that actually makes way more sense. But anyways, that's who the foreman is. Remember, this jury only asked one time just to say that they wanted to watch the interview again. And I don't know if that meant that they watched like the whole interviews of Richard Allen with the police on the 13th and the 26th. And they wanted to see the 43-second bridge video again. Okay. So, but I was told that you guys have reached a verdict. Yes. And then he just had like a stack of like the papers, and then he just handed them to the bailiff, who then handed them to Judge Gall. And Judge Gall didn't say, okay, like, Richard Allen, if you could please stand, if the defense could please stand, like nothing. Okay. It was like literally she had them and she went like this. All right, in the state of, Indiana versus the jury finds you guilty of count 1, guilty of count 2, guilty of count 3, guilty of count 4. Over in like 6 seconds. Nobody was standing, nothing. The prosecution was asked if they want to pull. He says no. They asked the defense. And Bella seemed to think that Rosie was the one that said yes. I thought I heard Baldwin, but either way, the defense says we want you to pull individually, And so juror 1, is this your verdict? And so here's me just looking at all these people to hear them say, and it was just like, let me hear what juror 6 said. Mind you, no glasses on. Juror 6, is this yours? Yes. So everybody went through and said yes, and then boom, done, over. The only thing I physically saw then was it was like, okay, so then we're sitting there. We have to stand up. The jury leaves. Oh, I will say this. Juror 12, I didn't see it because when he first came in, I could not see this. Okay. But when juror 12 is leaving, I noticed that he has a backpack on his back. And I'm like, wait, what the fuck is that? Juror 12 had a backpack that he then gets up and he straps a backpack to his bag or to his back. And he has a cup that's like a Yeti. And I'm like, wait a second. What? Where is this backpack coming from? You guys listen to what I'm saying here? Juror 12 had a backpack on his back, okay? And had a Yeti cup in his hand that had like the straw coming out of it. And I'm like, what the hell? Remember, they can't have anything. That's never, they've walked in there every single day with nothing. Okay? They walk in every single day with nothing. They're folders that are like the brown snap ones. Okay? It's not their personal belongings. It's at their hotel, you guys. None of that. Okay? You're not supposed to be bringing anything. Okay? No, and no. Okay? Please listen to what I'm about to tell you. They walked in every day. They're brown boxes that were like where like a folder kind of like expands. They had all of their stuff already laid out for them because they did not leave with them. Okay. So every day when they would go in there to get their notes, they were already there and kept them there. Their pens are in there, whatever. And they had to leave them there. And then they, would leave. They came, their stuff was there. Okay. But here, when this guy stands up, juror 12, he picks up his bag, puts it on his back, grabs his Yeti cup, and turns, and I'm like, wait, what? I'm speechless over that. So that's your like wow 4. I don't know if this has been said by anybody that's talked and has been in that courtroom. That was wow 4 for me. Okay. You're not supposed to have anything with you. Why would he come into the courtroom? Where's this jury room at? Okay. Where's the jury room to deliberate? Why wouldn't that be in there? Why would it even be on premises, period? You guys, there's cameras all over the place, right? What I'm saying can be proven by cameras. So I'm not making this up, all right? I want to know why that guy had a backpack. Okay, it was juror 12, big guy, writing notes like, and gets up, grabs his Yeti, and grabs his book and puts his book bag on. And I was just like, wow. I couldn't even believe my eyes. And then so they leave. Judge Gall starts talking about sentencing. Kathy Allen was crying. One of the investigators in front of me, because she was sitting. She was shaking. And they excused the Allen family first. And it was like they had to wait by the door for a minute because they were letting making sure like the jury was all gone and stuff like that. And then so the defense is standing by the door, waiting and waiting and waiting. Allen family then finally like, okay, they're leaving. So all the videos that you see of like Rosie of walking out, and Baldwin walking out and everybody walking out, that would have been right after that. He's never brought his backpack in ever. Okay, there's never been a backpack that I've ever seen. So and there may be a great excuse for the whole backpack, but I'd want to know about that. So then they leave. Then Abby and Libby's family was said, okay, do you guys want to leave? And some of them did. And then others, I know that Anna and Becky Patty hugged. Kelsey and her boyfriend or husband left. And then Jerry Holman was like hugging all of the prosecution. And then I didn't see it personally, but it was reported that Jerry Holman then kissed Nick McClellan. So I did not see that personally. Nick McClellan was, well, I couldn't see because they were tears, but he was wiping his eyes like he was crying. I think the defense was shocked, my personal opinion. And then we get to the closing part here, which is then the media is going to be excused. Okay. And then who leaves with the media? Who walks out with the media? These fucking people that came in as the public. Yeah. Kendall and Dateline Chicky Poo. They stood up and left with the media. I'm just like, unbelievable. Literally. They are in the public seats, and when the police say that the guards, which I've been big fans of the guards because I want them to be strict. I want them to keep and maintain order. I want to be safe. They say, okay, it's media, here you go, and then these two right here, here they come from the back over on the left, getting up and leaving with the media. Okay. And I'm just like, oh my God. And it was like, yes, I'm so glad you did it because it's the icing on the cake. It shows me exactly who you are and exactly everything that you did and why you did it. It's because you think that you are the media, even though you're really not the media in this situation, but you think you are. Okay. So, and again, it's all to do what? It's to push a fucking narrative, man. If you put the same idiots always going and reporting on shit, okay? The media's supposed to be for us, we the people. That's what that's for. Okay? It's not supposed to be for a side or anything like that. But when you put the same people that are circle jerking and pushing a narrative, that's what's going to come out, right? Garbage in, garbage out. So, trash. Anyways, then the public gets to leave. And when I came outside, I mean, like I said, we came out off after the media, and so people said when they announced that there was a not guilty, I didn't get to hear those cheers. I didn't hear any cheers. I couldn't hear anything inside. Okay. But all I can tell you is this: when I got out of the courtroom, it was dead silent. Nobody was saying anything. It was silent. I think I maybe heard like a clap or two. But let me tell you something. You know what I would have expected when I walked into that courtroom? That people would have been like going crazy, cheering, right? That's what I mean, you got your man, right? If you got your man, like, holy shit, right? Like, woo! I didn't hear any of that shit. I walked out of there, wanted to make sure that we got away from anything that if anybody was going to act, stupid, I didn't want to be a part or around it or put anybody that I cared about, like, we're leaving this area. Okay, we are leaving this area. So, but from my experience being there, the state didn't prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. So I want to round up by saying this, though. I do have some critical things to say. Do I believe, is there such a defense anymore as to say that you have a reasonable doubt defense? And I've been saying it for a while now. Do defense attorneys have to start considering that they need to represent their clients differently, especially after my experience with this trial in specific, when I heard all of those jurors telling you what they needed to see and hear? Okay. They want an innocent person to like be saying that. Okay. There was people that were on that jury that made it through that were saying that they would never be able to get past the fact that if somebody doesn't testify to say they are innocent, that they will hold that against them. Think about that. How could you ever have those type of people on your jury, knowing that you plan on not putting on your client on the stand? Okay. We all know the jurors don't know this yet. Maybe they'll find out one day. Maybe they won't. Maybe they're never looking back again. Maybe this was like the most ridiculous experience of their lives. You know, I can only hope that they speak outside. But we are aware that the defense, their hands were strapped at different points, right? But some things that I really think that the jury needed to see was there was no timeline presented in the form of like a report with an Excel spreadsheet. I really think that hurt the defense. It's like how Max did with the videos that they compiled, and he was on the stand to testify that, you know, these are the videos. There was hours and hours and hours, and here I put together, you know, the same way that you would testify to putting together, you know, an accurate timeline of the movement of people, and the fact that nobody in here identified Richard Allen as Bridge Guy, you know, and here's all these timestamps. There was no report the jury wanted to see that the defense's guy tested the cartridge. Remember that? There was no testimony from Kathy Allen saying that her husband was home all night. There was also no testimony from Kathy Allen to say that my husband didn't change his appearance. Okay. My husband didn't change. He wasn't like, hey, let's go sell our house and move. He didn't change after, you know, the whole big thing is the phone being used with human hands at 5:45 and at 10:32. There was no coworker testimony from the defense to grab a coworker that, you know, to testify that Richard Allen didn't change his appearance. He wasn't different after the murders. He worked the same, you know, shifts. He wasn't, you know, missing work or something like that. The daughter was only called, and Kathy, the daughter was called by the prosecution to ask, you know, those couple questions. So the defense never recalled the daughter. There was no mom or stepdad testimony. So basically there was no character witness for Richard Allen, if you think about it. Also, there was no FBI witness to combat the Weber's route home / you know, that he went and serviced the ATMs. But from what I've been told is that Gull strapped that, like Gull had something to do with that, and that's going to come out because the use of Zoom wasn't allowed. Again, these are just my takeaways, okay? This is just my takeaways. When people want to say that I'm unbiased. That's how I think that you should be. You should look at everything both ways. So this is just for me when I'm trying to put my, you know, feet in the footsteps of the jurors. There was no motion put in. Now the jurors wouldn't know this, but they could at least know that I would have liked to see the motions like they did in the Karen Reed case for Judge Gull to be able to consider getting historical phone records associated with all of those that were at the bridge that day. There's people that were at the bridge that day that were never called, you know, as well. In Karen Reed's case, they called a former like an ER doctor, an ME, but to address the wounds on the body, and that there would have to be multiple people. I mean, I don't know how somebody can have a gun in their hand restrain another person and then stab another person in the vertical. I mean, it's just, so did the jury just say, well, hey, if Richard Allen wants to just go down and not cough up the other names that he did this with, you know, was that something that the jury was thinking to themselves? Again, I'm just going off of this list of what I kind of compiled. They don't allow that in Indiana. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Thank you. But 100% Weber's phone data would destroy this conviction. Yeah. So I think it's a rule. What is it? Like a rule 17 for discovery in Massachusetts. So they don't do that. Good to know. As I wondered that, I'm like, why wouldn't you? I'd have to double check this because I just wasn't there on a day that, you know, it wasn't until the defense had talked about, or you did in a deposition about a blood spatter expert, that then the state went out and got a blood spatter expert 7 years later, you know? And it's like, well, I never heard any testimony from a defense blood spatter expert. And you also have to remember, this is all going to come into account that could the defense not have all the stuff that I'm listing because they were being strapped with, we're not paying, the state's not paying for that. The state's not paying for that. The state's not paying for that. Okay. So if all the things that I'm trying to tell you guys right here and right now, if we find out, yeah, the state wouldn't pay, we couldn't get the money for that. I really wanted to, I think that I would have called Logan, the boyfriend, to the stand to talk about if the girls were meeting anybody that day. Okay. I would have recalled Kelsey to the stand. I would have recalled or called to the stand and asked who the girls had been hanging out with as to who the female unknown DNA could belong to. I would have really been emphasizing that unknown DNA female. And then the big one here, which is the known male DNA belonging to one of the ISP personnel people, not the lab, but whose DNA is this? And I would have liked to see a name with that. Also, are they considering the false confession expert to be Grayson, or would there be somebody that could have provided a false confession expert that would have provided a report? But Grayson did have a report, but he was more concerned about like the solitary confinement portion of it. I thought he did mention like how, you know, if you say the words, I believe, then the big thing for me is I would have wanted to see a timeline of the confessions, the dates of these alleged confessions that they're putting, the source, so in an Excel spreadsheet, the source of the confession. Okay. And then the substance of that confession. So you're going to have the dates, the source of the confession of the, you know, and then I would want those all in chronological order for the jury to see and be testifying to, you know, what was going on at that moment, what was happening. And this is, again, providing this like whole like timeline of things. I got one, and it makes it real clear. I do wish they would have provided them with that 100%. And somebody would have to testify to it by testifying that they took all of this data and put it all, because the jury was left with Cecil's Excel spreadsheet. You know what I mean? And then when you're back there and you're having people go off of their notes and say, well, this is what this person said, and da-da-da, it's like, I'm going off of what I was hearing in the jury questions and just my personal experience. I'm sharing it with my personal experience. Then I got to talk about the, now I would have recalled Dr. Monica Walla, okay? Because I believe that there's a chance that, so Dr. Monica Walla in this van that everybody's saying only the killer would know, okay? Well, I did my own research and I was able to find channels and videos that 100% mention this van, show this van, talk about this van. And on direct examination with Monica Waller, she mentioned channels that she watched. She mentioned groups that she was in, okay? So to put down Monica Waller's, again, a timeline of this is when she entered this group, the date. This group, the date. This is what was being discussed, okay? These are the dates of these videos or lives, okay? And then could you get a subpoena for Monica Walla's devices to see, in fact, like, what the fuck here? If that information, again, with the dates of the broadcast that was it before Rick Allen ever mentions a quote unquote van. Again, for me, this case is like Karen Reed 2.0 for me. Because just like Karen, Richard Allen couldn't mention, hey, I'm sitting here telling you that I didn't do it, right? But I can't sit here and also say like, but this is what this crime scene looks like based on the reporting of their own officers. I can't talk about the reports that the FBI did. I can't talk about the sketches. I can't talk about Anthony Schatz, who was actually communicating that same day with the victim, one of them. That's where it's like the Karen Reed 2.0 for me, that feeling of like, oh God, I feel like is because in here, I think Richard Allen had way more of a way to like, I want to be defended because, hey, I didn't do it. And look at the cops even thought that, all this other shit. And then you had people that couldn't agree in cop land. And then, hey, since we can't agree with you, we're just going to get rid of you and we're going to go this way. And I would want to talk about the possible motives of the police to cover stuff up. Okay. Because that's why things could be missing. There were multiple people that went to the police station and then, oh, we'll have somebody call you. Why wouldn't they just stay right there and interview them? We'll have somebody call you. That kind of sounds like you want to see who this person is, vet them a little bit, and then you want stuff to happen that's outside of the police department where everything's being recorded to see what you're going to say first. But again, when you're going to explain to the jury on why the police maybe were making these mistakes, maybe they weren't mistakes then, maybe stuff was lost on purpose. And the only reason I think that's important is because I don't want the jury just to chalk it up as like, guys, they're human. Okay. Well, but so for me, there were things that, that yes, Judge Gall took away, and she was not letting third parties, the ode and stuff, but there was things that had nothing to do with that. And that's the whole big timeline. And to seriously walk through these jurors and say that their way is not humanly possible. Their way isn't possible. But again, that's my opinion. And a timeline does it. And I'm sorry, but if you're defending your client, I'm calling up to the stand and I can't think about, if Kelsey lied, why would she lie? Who was she? I'm not going to be, I can't be afraid to say, I don't want to, that may come across bad to the jury. It's your client's life on the line. So I don't know. But I think the biggest thing is a timeline. And would it be possibly a Brady violation if things were turned over but just they weren't turned over to the defense? So I don't know. I know that Richard Allen has a lot of avenues to appeal. And I've said it before. I said, if this comes back as a guilty verdict, we'll just be doing this all over again. And that can't be good for the families either. So I don't know. That's my take. I want to know, regardless of all of this, don't you think that Kathy Allen still has a way to sue the living shit out of Westville Correctional? What about that? How do you think the jurors would have felt if the girls were planning to meet up with a sexual predator that day? How do you think that would sit over with the jury? Hey, jurors, guess what? Do you guys know that Libby was meeting up or planned to meet up with a sexual predator that day? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The tort claim notice was filed for a reason. Boom. There you go. Andrew said no, but Rick does. Well, good. Rick will sue. Kathy will get it, right? Gull 100% crippled the defense team. I'm not disputing that all day. But like I said, that still doesn't have anything to do with putting together a timeline, which does not have anything to do with being crippled. They need to see, jurors need to see shit visually. People in general need to see that. People in general need to say, okay, hey, that's the state's timeline. I can't let you go back to a jury room with only the timeline of Cecil. I need you to go back to the jury room with ours. With ours. I need us to find out why Betsy Blair took 20 minutes to go pee. I think that's important, guys. And so I encourage you to figure that out. I encourage that if there is a round 2, that somebody seriously looks at the fact that where she went to the bathroom there's computers there to get on the internet. Okay. Nobody takes 20 minutes to go to the bathroom to go pee. All right. I'm sorry. To go pee. When I say 20 minutes, I'm talking about it was a 30-minute trip, and that's me giving her extra minute, So, but yeah, so that's my takeaway. Juror 6 was disheveled mess, didn't have his glasses on, never saw it before ever, and juror 12 had a damn backpack in there. And I never saw that before. And I'm just like, holy fucking shit. And it was so quick. And these 3 people should be ashamed of themselves. And Kathy Allen and Rick Allen and the team are going to have to go through the appeals process. It's very tough. It's very tough. Lana, what do you think Betsy Blair was doing at the library? I don't know. Betsy Blair said she went to the library. Maybe she didn't go to the library. I think it's very interesting that Betsy Blair would do her 2 loops, totally run into somebody, as I proved that, say that she doesn't see anybody all day, except on the final loop, that's where she runs into the girls, she said, and this guy, but yet, remember the sketch of the guy couldn't come in. I would have been, nobody was ever asking, is that who you ran into? And then they could say, that's so risky. Fine, it's risky. So is going to prison. Okay. So I don't know. I just listened to what the jurors said that they needed. I was really paying attention what these jurors that are on this jury was wanting to hear and see. Okay. And they clearly, this is the other part, guys. They clearly talked about this for how long. That means that there were people that were saying not guilty, right? And there's people that are saying guilty. And there's probably people that were saying I'm undecided, right? The people in that room were able to, whatever they were doing, were able to get people that either were undecided and or felt that he was not guilty by whatever reasons, were able to get them to change from that to saying, versus just saying, no, I'm not moving on it. I guess we're going to be hung. Okay. But this wasn't a couple hours. Okay. Yes, he's guilty. These people changed their vote. Okay. I want to know why. What made you change your vote based off of what those people in that room said to you? That's what I want to know. Maybe we'll get it one day. Maybe we won't. But there was 100% people that were saying not guilty. Clearly, otherwise we would have had a verdict a hell of a lot earlier. Okay. But people were saying not guilty, right? People were probably saying, I don't know. Let's talk about this. Okay. And there's people that are saying that he's guilty, right? So how did it come to a unanimous decision? How did the people give up their stance? Like what I believe juror 6 gave up his stance of not guilty to guilty. He said, fine, guilty. Was he the last holdout? Was he the last one? And it's just like, well, everybody else is saying, like, you're the only one. You're the only one. I'm telling you, this man was disheveled. This man walks in there with no glasses on. Never has happened before. No glasses to be seen anywhere. They weren't on his person. He changed form. That's what I noticed. He changed after he penned his answer down. He changed. Then juror 12 has a book bag. That's different. So, and rumor has it, it's alleged that there are pictures of jurors with the police outside of the hotel by the grill area. So I don't know if that was before the jury got the case. I don't know if it was after the jury got the case. I mean, when I say got the case, I mean, like, here you guys are now in, we're in verdict watch mode. So again, that's all alleged, but there are pictures. So, and that's it. That's my experience. I think Gull was surprised. That's my personal opinion. She announced that, you guys can wait to have your happiness outside. She said, well, clearly, some side isn't going to be happy here, right? When this is announced. So, people have asked me, do I think the jurors will speak out? Absolutely, I do. There is no way. Remember, you have the alternates as well. So it's not just 12. We have 15 people that are going to go ahead, and maybe not all of them, but some of them 100% are going to tell people that they were on that jury, number one. Number two, they are going to research this case. And I do believe that we will hear from the jury. The question is who is the jury going to speak to, and how is that going to come out? And I hope that the jurors, if they want to speak, they stay away from people with no integrity. They stay away from people that have been pushing a one road highway narrative. I'll say it again, as I said it before. I wouldn't want anybody's dad, my dad, your dad, anybody's dad, convicted of a crime off of the evidence that was put in that courtroom. And I wouldn't want anybody to have their hands tied behind their back as a defense and not being able to defend their client and have their rights being violated over and over and over. That's not the United States of America. And if that shit goes on in Indiana and the Hoosiers are proud of that, hey, then go be a proud Hoosier. But if that happened in Ohio, I would not be a proud Ohioan. And I heard somebody say that when I walked out. That was the only thing I heard was someone said, like the great state of Indiana, you know, about being happy that the great state of Indiana, you know, got it right, did their job or whatever. And I'm just like, wow. It's probably the same person who thought that there was no verdict after they announced that there was a verdict, that it could still be hung. So, and then we got out. I wanted to let everything digest. It's been a long couple past days, but even like, you know, just the whole length of this, I can't imagine what the families are going through. I can't imagine what Kathy Allen's going through. I put myself in both of their shoes. Like, I could be happy that the family got a verdict that they think that this is over, but that would be me lying to them. So, because I don't think that it's over. I think this is going to go on for a long time. And mainstream media selling a book of whatever, saying like, I mean, they're just blowing smoke off everybody's ass. This is not over by a long shot. So, but I'll tell you what, man. Why would anybody ever come forward when the police are asking for help and they want you to put yourself at a crime scene? Think about that. You want me to come forward and put myself at a crime scene? No, thank you. No, thank you. I would never recommend that. And that's just so sad to say that. We're asking people to come forward that were out there that day. Think about that. We're asking people to come forward that were out there that day and they would have seen and know anything. Because if they would have done their job the right way back then, when Rick did come forward, and you would have had all his data, go get his phone, go get whatever, okay? But now to think that all these years later, because you guys fucked up all this shit, now you want me to be your fall guy? Get the fuck out of here. That's exactly what he said. It's exactly what he said in that interview. Like, I see where this is going here. He even said we watched Dateline. Like all of us would have said. Sad. I'm sorry, but I feel that justice has been served. Okay, perfect. And you're allowed to feel that way. And that's good. What does justice come from for you? Justice for me comes from the truth. Justice doesn't come from a guilty verdict. Justice for me comes from the truth. And if anybody thinks that they got the truth out of that courtroom, they're lying to themselves. So keep all the families in your prayers. I'm telling you guys, this is, as Kathy Allen said, this is far from over. It's far from over. If you have to get confessions, false confessions that you're going to say that are real, if you need to get confessions by putting a man in solitary confinement and making up that he needs to be on suicide watch, and if you need to do all that to get that, that's not America, man. I'm sorry. If the man would have been confessing in his interrogation and given us, you know, this is how this all played out. This is how I was able to control two girls I killed this person first. Where was the other one when you were killing her? She was just standing there watching you, unrestrained. No, I had help, but I'm not going to give their names up. But here's what happened. You know what I mean? Like something like that. We didn't get anything like that. So at the end of the day, everybody has to meet their maker, and that's that, Heather says violating the Eighth Amendment is never okay. Not in this country. No, it's not. You guys, there was no defensive wounds. No defensive wounds. To hear in that courtroom when even Cicero said he has never seen like Abby in all the years he's been doing this. And I liked Cicero as a, he's like, in all the years I've been doing this, I've never seen a crime scene like that. As far as with Abby, how, This is the work of multiple people, guys. And to listen to Nick McLeland and everybody trying to keep that probable cause affidavit in the beginning for Richard Allen, they wanted to keep that sealed, and they came out and said because more people, like there's other people involved. There's other people involved. How Richard Allen can't use that in his defense. Richard Allen was never arraigned in this. If a juror ever gets to hear this, I'm telling you, your book would be worth millions to hear what the heck went on in that deliberating room. But you'd have to be telling the truth, if anybody found out that you were lying. But unbelievable. Yeah, he wasn't arraigned, you guys, until like in August or something. Like, it's because remember right out the gate, all they cared about, the family went out and got 40,000 signatures to keep the affidavit sealed, okay? They went out and got 40,000 to try to attempt to do this. Because Nick said, we believe there's other people involved, and it will mess with that. It'll mess with that. Wow. You guys remember that? I think the defense needed to ask some way harder questions to some people that were on the stand. I have no problem saying that. And I respect them really, really highly. But at the end of the day, you got to look and see who was the people that were driving this bus. Yeah, it didn't at all. So, now I like to end on a laughing note, only because sometimes in life when you're doing this like all the time and just like you want to think about, you have to just like rest your brain for a minute from. So I'm taking myself out of the work of right here for a minute. But I got to tell you guys a funny story. What happened inside that courtroom? Me and Bella were driving back home last night, and Julie was on with Sleuthy and Teresa, and I forget who else Teresa had on. And when she was done, we're driving, and Julie calls, so we're all talking on speakerphone. And I'm like, did you guys see I think, you know, and I like him, by the way, Aspen, if you're out there. So I said, I think Aspen was sitting in the front row on the left side. But I thought he was by himself. Like, it was super weird. Like, I thought he was just sitting there by himself. And I was like, did you guys see that? And here's Julie. And Julie says, oh my God, no. Lana, oh my God, you're right. No, guess what? It wasn't Aspen. It was Doug Carter's wife. And here's me driving. I'm like, what? Doug Carter's, I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, no, I saw Aspen. Okay. Like, I know what I saw. Okay. And she's like, yeah, no, Aspen's the one with like, he's got like the dark, like the blonde. And I was like, yeah, he had his glasses. He was sitting there. And she's like, no, that was Doug Carter's wife. Cause she's like, cause he was patting Doug Carter's rubbing his back. And I'm like, Aspen was rubbing Doug Carter. She's like, no, it was not Aspen. I was like, I am telling you, it was Aspen who I saw. Okay. And she's like, I am telling you, Doug Carter's wife and Aspen are twins. And then I'm driving and I'm like, I gotta pull over. I'm gonna crash my car. So, and I'm like, Julie, are you messing with me? Because I'm thinking that maybe she's just messing with me. So if you ever see this, Aspen, we want to settle the score between me and Julie. Were you in the front row on the left side for the jury, for the verdict, okay? Or was it Doug Carter's wife? Okay, we just want to end this, debate, okay? The reason, though, that Julie feels so strongly about it is she's like, I'm telling you, he was rubbing Doug Carter's back, and it wasn't, it was his wife, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, no, I swear that was not. I was like, I know what I saw, and I was like, maybe Aspen was sitting next to, and then because it was just really quick, So if anybody knows out there, but again, a shout out to everybody, all the creators that traveled from wherever they're at. Everybody that has a YouTube channel that has reported on this case, whatever your opinion is of the case, you are entitled to that. And I appreciate everybody that went, okay? Regardless of what your opinion is. And I made that known when I was, there. People that have different opinions of me, I still value and respect those people because that's what you do in an industry that you work in. Like, you want people to respect the fact that you came here and, hey, how you see something, though, that's, hey, how I see something. So you may disagree all day, but you really want to keep that. There's a difference of disagreeing, but you should always maintain, like, hey, I can still respect somebody that I disagree with. So thank you to everybody that went. So thank you so much. And all of the people that followed closely and watched all the night recaps between Lawyer Lee and Andrea and all the line sitters. When people were trying to mess that up for them to not be able to get in the courtroom every single day, it's like, who are you? Who are you? So thank you. You're all appreciated. All the mods of all those channels, appreciated. So thank you. All right, guys, over and out. The Delphi train, though, is not going anywhere. Kathy Allen, we love you. We'll keep praying for you, the family, and then do the right thing. The prison, the county, do the right thing. While you are upholding Mr. Allen, while he is a convicted murderer, and awaiting this appeal. Do the right thing. Nope, the work has just begun. I do believe that. So, all right. Good afternoon. Go enjoy the rest of your day. I think Bella's on later. I think she has some things that she wants to add to it. And so join her. I think it's, I don't know, 4. I think she might already have a thumbnail up. And then I think we're popping on a little bit later with Rick Snay over at Delphi After Dark. I've enjoyed Rick's company, and thank you to his white van that was keeping the charge. Rick's a good dude. So choo choo. Peace.
Today is not a day to celebrate, but the arrest of Richard M. Allen of Delphi on 2 counts of murder is sure a major step in leading to the conclusion of this long-term and complex investigation. Of this long-term and complex